So again, a very good morning. Now 5 minutes are over and we are starting the second lab. So as we discussed in the last lab, we are directly jumping onto the hands-on session in this lab because already we have discussed enough theory. And if any of you has not gone with that particular content yet, then I request all of you to please go through the basic SDN theory and the basic links that I shown in the last lab. So that is a single link only, mininet.org. There you will find all the details. And respectively, if you have any problem, then you may message or mail me directly. So let's start. I think I'm audible. Once again, if you give reply, then it's good. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So 20 guys are there. Okay, in total 18. So it is our virtual environment that I showed you last time. So here we are going to start. Okay. Let me start a fresh terminal. Actually, I'm using a virtual machine that the Shiv sent the link of you. So perhaps you also using the same VM. So even if you don't have the VM, then also you can run the Mininet, because in this VM, Mininet and P4, the second part of this SDN lab curriculum, you can say, is of P4. So second part will be covered by Shiv, and as this VM integrates a VM and Mininet and P4 environment both into a single environment. That's why we are using this particular VM. But if you don't want to use this particular VM, or you want to just simply work on a plain system, then obviously you can go into Linux and you can install the Mininet there, and directly you can work on to Mininet. So as I am opening this terminal, so think of it as a simple Linux system or a simple Ubuntu system. And here, whatever I am doing here, everything you can do in any non-VM environment. So there is no need of using specifically this VM or any other VM. Directly take any fresh system having a basic installation, or if it doesn't have, then you can do the basic Mininet installation and start working there. Okay. So don't be confused that we need VM or not. So again, like last time, we are starting with a very simple command, that is sudo mn. We are using sudo, that is super user do, to give the super user permission, and mn is for Mininet. So when we give this particular command, a basic topology comes into picture, that is single switch and two hosts with a single controller. And everything is written over here. You can easily read. And then this Mininet terminal, Mininet prompt you get. Whenever you get this particular prompt, means the window is ready to accept the Mininet related all commands. So directly we will go here and we will do some sort of basic commands like net, nodes, etc. So these commands I showed you last time also. So this time there is no need to discuss all these things. I think you have gone through the basic things. So all these letters and their specific meaning you are familiar with. So obviously we are going to discuss some of the things those were not covered in the last class. So here starting as some of the are very basic beginners. So I will not discuss something very complex, starting with the basic help and all. So suppose if you are into the Mininet environment and you don't have a feeling that what to do or what are the related commands, or many times it does happen that we forget commands. We don't have a basic uh, reminder in the mind that what exactly that command was, or the related help or something like that. So like in every tool, there is also a help option here. You simply type here help and you will get the number of options available here. Okay, so we typed here this and we got output like this. Okay, but suppose you are not onto the Mininet terminal and you forgot the very basic command only. Then you come out, Control D I pressed as an interrupt. I came out, and then you simply type sudo mn and H for help. So what I typed? I typed sudo mn help. So this switch is here. H means the option button is H, that is pointing to the help of Mininet, and you can simply get all the available options. As you can see here, it stands for help. Both are okay. Either you use this or you use this. Then what is the meaning? Show this help message and exit. So you can apply this with respect to a specific command also, or you can use it in general. Now the second option, assigning a particular switch, assigning a particular host, assigning a particular controller, assigning a particular link, assigning a particular topology. Like this, we discussed in the last lab also. I hope you remember. And if you don't, as some of you might be fresher in this lab, so I will discuss one or two commands simply. Sudo mn, and here controller. Here it is. Okay, leave controller because we are by default using the reference controller. So there is no need to write this. We simply write the switch. And that is obvious. Here it is the switch. And here it is the switch type. So what is the switch type? It might be default, it might be IVS or other type. We are using OVS. That is open virtual switch. So switch is equal to OVS. Topo means topology. No need to write is equal to, just I think simply linear minimal or something like that. We enter here. So I type here minimal. And then I simply enter. So there are multiple options. By I took only two options. Means I just use two particular options, that is of switch and topology. Just to give you a basic idea how you can use these different options, those are listed over here. So it is not necessary to apply all the options every time. You may choose according to your need. So if you want to use a specific parameter, then correspondingly you go into the help, see the available options, whatever you find there. If you don't know every option, so go to Google, simply just search it, and based on the specific requirement, you may use a specific type of switch, topology, link, etc. So I hope it is very clear. What is the mean of minimal? It is the minimum topology that is required. And when we type sudo mn, simply sudo mn when we type, then also it is considered that we are trying to run the minimum topology. So the same output is listed down here. You can see when we type sudo mn, then also we get this thing. When we type sudo mn topology is equal to minimal, then also we are getting the same output. So don't be confused. It's the same thing. So like this, as P4 is going to come after the third SDN lab. So in that you will see the more specific use of all these things. And there you will also see how you can configure specific flow within the environment. So there
So,
are multiple. Yes.
sir, when we did Control D to come out of the Mininet environment, and again we have created the Mininet environment with these options. So the earlier setup was already cleaned, or we have to clean that, or it is overwritten, or what?
It is not necessary if you are having some issue, like I told you in the last class also, that
Hmm.
cleanup is necessary when you are getting some error sort of thing. Means there is some dependency error or package error, or you are unable to run some command. It's a kind of setting, like whenever you set up a system, you do some settings in prior, like you set up the environment, you set up the path variables, and etc etc. So similar way, when you install Mininet, as through any of the options that we discussed in the last class, there were four options. Either go with the binaries, go with the source, go with some package sort of thing. So whenever you
Yes, sir.
choose whatever option, there are some settings in the back, like path environment will get set up interiorly, all the source file will get downloaded from any of the mirror sites that you are using. So that's why those settings, like I am running here. Okay, let me close this. Now see here, I am at the dollar prompt. Dollar prompt means I am at the home folder. Okay. So if I do listing of all the things what are available here. These are the things. In these things, I do also get Mininet. Okay, so it is in the
Yeah.
home folder. Where did it come from? Because already I downloaded it from the mirror site of Mininet. So if it is not present here, then I run sudo mn, then it is also possible that it does run, because there
Mm,
might be a single copy of Mininet somewhere in the system,
mm,
not exactly in the home folder, because we are running sudo mn where at the home terminal. So if I am running this, it is working fine. So someone may say, sir, here it is Mininet folder, so it is directly accessing it. There is no need to go here and there. But if I delete it, there might be a second copy. I'm not sure there is second copy or not in this system. That's why I'm not deleting it right now. So
okay.
if I delete and perhaps assume that there is a second copy, then it is also possible that it will run simply in the right way, because path variable is set, and
Yes,
there
sir.
is also a possibility that path variable is set for both the locations.
Mm,
So that's why if there is some uh, loading error, there is some package error, or there is some memory error sort of thing. So
mm,
there are multiple numerous possibilities, so that a specific example or a specific environment doesn't function right. So we don't know exactly what is the problem. Then Mininet people said, okay, because when you develop something, when you are going to develop a software, obviously there is a team that is developing that, because it is not a single guy's work. So it is simply the thing that a novice user or a normal user cannot function in the same way as a developer team does. So obviously he is not get familiar. He is not familiar with all the basic commands or the advanced commands. So
mm,
they gave a simple command that whenever you get stuck somewhere, try this out. We are not guaranteeing it that it will sort out your problems, but there is a
okay.
huge probability that you'll get out of the problem, because it
But
is
generally, we don't have to do that every time we get out of the Mininet environment.
obviously it is not required to do every time.
Okay.
Whenever you are getting problem, then only you do it.
Yes.
So there is no issue. So we continue. So we discussed the help option here. Second thing, you may also try the Wireshark, as we were supposed to discuss packet dumping in this particular lab. So I am also trying to discuss Wireshark here. So again, I came out of Mininet environment and I am at the Ubuntu terminal. So I will type sudo Wireshark. And before discussing this, let me discuss one very basic thing, but it is also possible that it is not known to many people. Again, the directory structure in Ubuntu, it's a very important thing to understand, because if you don't have a basic understanding of directory structure, it is really very complex for you to work in a specific Linux or Ubuntu environment. Why people find it very difficult to work in Linux or Ubuntu? Because they don't understand how it is working. Because like Windows, everything is not accessible from GUI manner in a GUI manner. So obviously you need to access command prompts frequently in comparison to Windows. So that's why if I list down here, then it is home. Okay. And there is, let me open another terminal. Now understand this. If there is a tilde sign here, this, then it is your home. It denotes to home. And if it is a slash, forward slash, then it denotes to the root directory. Root means above this, there is nothing. But home doesn't mean that above this, there is nothing. Okay. For example, it is the here. Here we are. What is our location? We are at home. Okay. So let me do it. CD space dot dot. What it does, it will send us into the previous directory. Just for example, we have a specific path. Whatever is your current position, you will go one step back. So home is the parent directory. Here you can see this home, this folder. Home directory is the parent directory of what? It is the parent directory of background. Okay. So here, if I list down here now, so see here it is. Understood? Now do the same thing here. What is the end result? Nothing, because there is no parent directory. Okay. So now what is the relation of this specific position to this specific position? Okay. So understand, cd, sorry, list down ls, and here you will find, here it is, home. Understood? So again, if we go one step again backward, in backward direction, then we come at root. Okay. So what is the top point? That is root, then home, then specific users. Root, then home. Now let me move in the forward direction. So forward direction, initially at the root, we have home. Okay. Now go inside home, cd, change a directory to home. Now inside home, we have two users, P4 and Vagrant. Okay. So cd, Vagrant, again list down. Now inside Vagrant, we have Mininet, we have other directories, everything. Okay. So hope you understand that there is a directory structure similar way. Like we have multiple users in window. Similar way, we may also have multiple user account here. And now inside this, everything, there is a separate user space. For Vagrant, there is a separate user space. For P4, there is a separate user space, and they will function separately. No one will touch each other's stuff. Okay. So in this way, it is going to function. Okay. Let me leave it now because it is SDN class here. And okay. So we were discussing the packet dumping and capturing and dumping. So I am at the root terminal. Now I am at the home. I'm not inside Mininet. So obviously, like we type, I'm again and again saying that we are at home. What does it mean? It does mean that what is our PWD? It is not normal PWD. That is present working directory. So that is what is our present working directory. We are at Vagrant home. Okay. So here we just do it cd mininet. Inside now what? Again examples, and inside this there's some configuration file which has again the similar copy of Mininet. So you again move inside Mininet. If you want to move, again list down here, you will get these basic stuff, the basic Python files. Okay. So move backward, here you will get the supporting files, the controller, etc. Many things you may put here. Okay. So here you have some custom deployments, some documentation, etc., controllers, etc. If there are some default controllers already set up inside. Some examples. Okay. So inside examples, cd examples, list down the different examples already built up here. You may choose any of these examples like I showed in the last lab, mini edit. Okay. So similar way, numerous examples are here. You go there, experiment. Okay. तो ये सारी चीजें धीरे धीरे समझ में आ जाएंगी. तो अभी मैं इस एनवायरनमेंट के अंदर काम नहीं कर रहा हूँ. आई एम नॉट वर्किंग इनसाइड दिस पर्टिकुलर एनवायरनमेंट. आई एम नॉट रनिंग एवरी कमांड from inside example folder or from inside Mininet directory. Where I am running exactly, I am running at the home, because I am trying to give a indirectly a message that is, even if you are not under the exact environment, you can run it because you have already set up the path, and make it firm inside your mind, because this thing looks simple, but it is really important that if your path and other things are not set in an exact manner, then obviously you are going to face a lot of problem while doing the experiments. Okay. So let me open the Wireshark here. Sudo Wireshark. Okay. Open. It is the process number 5861. It came up. Now it is the Wireshark. All of you are already familiar with Wireshark, or there is anyone who doesn't know what is this specific software or piece of whatever it is? Anyone? Okay, let me check the chat window also. No. Okay. So I'm assuming that all of you are familiar with the basic functioning of Wireshark. Okay. So it is just a simply a packet capturing tool. Means it's a very naive definition. In actual, it is a very powerful network analysis software. You can, because when we say network, then a network is what? It is just a simple, not a simple interconnection of just some hardware, random hardware machines. Because we do have, obviously, because without interconnection, cannot have a network. But it's a very basic abstraction, you can say. Because from a top view, we are just seeing a four systems are connected, and now we are calling it a network. What's the big deal? The big deal lies inside, because every system has its own full stack. And like you see that many times some of your friends or those who are in industry, they might be discussing that my friend is he's a full stack developer. So what exactly does it mean? Full stack developer sort of thing means if you are capable to work at any site. You may handle the front end of a system, you may handle the back end, you may handle some other DBM responsibilities or sort of things. So point is that when you are capable to understand a system in its full capacity, then we say the damn guy is a full stack developer. Now, obviously, we cannot compare different people. Experience also matters in the similar way, like hackers do perform different activities. But trying to become a hacker and being a newbie sort of thing, those are two different things. Okay. So here, let me continue focus on this tool only. We'll discuss some other things later on. It is your default network environment, sorry, Ethernet connection. It is your any means anyone. Okay, there might be number of Ethernet connections related to your system. So we have only single, and inside any means all. All means this one only, because there is no traffic on any of the other interfaces. These are the other interfaces. It is the loopback, that is the default address of your system. So here it is no traffic, no traffic, no traffic, and here it is some traffic on ENPOS3. Okay, so inside any we will have a exact replica of this only, because there is no other traffic here. If there might have been present some extra form of traffic on some other interfaces, then inside any there might have been the mixed form of this traffic and those traffics. Okay, so I hope it's clear. So these are the different menus, starting like similarly with respect to any other software. File, some basic operations, open, save as, export, etc. Then edit, whatever way, whichever way you want to edit your specific functioning of a specific software in a particular instant. Then view different toolbars and the other formatting options. Then go just specifically you want to move to a specific packet. Then capture means you are trying to capture whatever the traffic running inside your network or going through the interface of this particular system. Now, why I'm focusing on this term, that through this interface of the means the interface of this particular system, because you cannot capture the traffic that is going through the interfaces of other systems. Because and understand it like this municipal water line is coming into your area and you have a tap connection. Okay, so you have a tap connection, then obviously you can fetch the water whichever is coming through that particular line only. Your tap will uh, pour out whatever the water is going through that, its quality whatever it is. But if your water quality is bad and someone else water quality is good, two lines uh, ahead in the same locality, then obviously there is a separate line. In the same way, if the traffic quality or the delay etc you are experiencing in your network might be very poor, okay, so it doesn't mean that the overall network is down. It might be possible that your local LAN or your nearby neighbors might be doing something whatever it's wrong or right, but they are creating huge traffic. That's why you are experiencing delay, and that's why your network performance is not so good. So when you do some sort of these sort of things, means how will you get to know that who is doing what, which sort of problem I am facing, you cannot capture all the traffics across the network. So whatever option you are left with is that you just capture your interfaces packet and try to do a statistical analysis or whatever analysis, because obviously psychological or emotional sort of things are not possible here. Those are live with live human beings or other things. But here you are left with the statistics. So as the next menu here it is, there are a lot of statistics options. You see, you first capture the packets through this particular menu, then you analyze, perform some statistical analysis, and try to draw a logical conclusion in a meaningful way that what are the possible chances that I am getting this particular quality of video, audio, or whatever it is. So in this way, this software is really powerful. Its GUI is quite amazing, and it's been used since last many years. I think 15 to 20 years. Last 15 to 20 years, it's a development means under so many open source guys across the world are contributing to its development, and it has developed as a major tool to do the basic packet analysis inside even inside the enterprise networks. Because when we do the analysis at a network that is our local network, for example triple IT in our Raipur network, it's a very basic network because there is a single network. Not means a single network, there are some multiple subnets. Each lab has its own subnet. Suppose, I am not sure that it is in the practice or not, but let me have a basic assumption that each lab has a basic subnet and there is a overall single network. So inside the network we have multiple subnets, and those all come under the jurisdiction or under the administration of a single administrator. So that administrator, for example Abid sir, okay, hope you understand who I'm referring to. So Abir sir performs a statistical analysis on all the packets those are going through our network. Means whatever packets, whatever traffic is coming inside a triple IT in Airport and whatever traffic going out of triple IT in Airport. So all the net labs, all labs combined traffic will come into a single place and that will go out. Here lies the concept of public IP. That public IP will be responsible for all the traffic sending out and taking in. And all your subnets will get divided based on the free IP access, means the local IP that we call it. That's why we have the address like 172, 192, because these are free ranges. So that's why here when, okay, let me do a basic capturing. For example, I go inside the capture menu, and before capturing, you need to first select any of the interfaces. So as there is no traffic on these interfaces, how many? These. Okay. So I'm not going to select any of these. Just select either this or this. It is the safest option. Any. So select it, go to capture, and start capturing. Okay, so Wireshark is opening using both the commands sudo Wireshark and sudo Wireshark. And what is the difference between and the two? Normally inside my system, who asked this question? Dear Shreya. Shreya. So hope you are listening to.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. In my system, Wireshark does run when I run inside the window environment using a virtual machine. Then it does create problem with sudo Wireshark simply. So the exact command what the Mininet people do provide. So inside their manual, they say that you run this command sudo Wireshark and this ampersand. And if you simply run sudo Wireshark also, then it works fine. So I hope there is no difference, because in my system I have also experienced that it performs almost equally in the same way. But sometimes the sudo Wireshark, simply this command creates a problem. So that's why exactly what is the technical difference in these two, I'm not unable to tell you right now. So I will go through this, that what exactly why they have put it, because I never went through this thing, that why they have put this. But exactly this thing creates sometimes problems, and they have also not given any explanation regarding this. So I'll go through that and will give you the possible reasoning later on. Okay. So here, these are the packets, some of the packets, those we captured right now it is available. It may take some time initially. Okay, so don't get worried that traffic is not coming. It might be possible that your net traffic speed is low, or it might also be possible that there is a very less number of packets floating on your network. So it takes time because all the capturing error and link speed, etc. All these things matter inside capturing. So because it is a physical event, in actual you are trying to access the physical hardware, and that's why you need the sudo permission to run Mininet as well as Wireshark, etc. Because those are going to deal with the physical devices or physical threads of your network, of your system. So uh, inside this, you can see here is the packet window, different sort of packets, what their numbering, time, source, destination, protocol, length, information, etc. Things are available. Then these are different things with respect to specific packet. For example, I click on a specific packet, you can see here the detail of the packets are getting changed. These are the different parts of your network, different parts of your packet, selected packet. You click here, number of options will vary in the second window. So depending on a specific packet, for example, it is an ARP packet. Okay, so ARP, address resolution protocol. Here, all the things related to the ARP functioning will get displayed. Then some other cooked capture details, and finally it is the frame options. So the basic networking details, that what is a frame, what is a packet, what is a fragment, etc. Those I'm not going to discuss here because we have limited time of 1 hour only. So right now, just understand that when packet comes of, from top to down, application, presentation, transport, network, data link, physical. So in this way, then it gets divided. Again, when it goes from bottom to top to another system, because ultimately when you are chatting with someone or when you are communicating with someone, you are delivering some message at application layer. So it will go there, it will get divided into different chunks, and then it will get forwarded onto the physical network, and again it will get summed up and will get delivered to the intended receiver in its intact form. So in this way, again the packet splitting, joining, etc. does place, and inside some error correction, checksum, etc. Those things do happen to prevent any possible errors, etc. Hell lot of details. So those don't need to discuss here. Just simply understand that we captured packets, okay, and after capturing packets, click on a specific packet, go into the various options available here to see the details, and then after seeing these details inside, if you want to see the byte wise description of the packet, then you can click on here, and here it is the plain form of respective byte. Whatever I'm highlighting here, right side, you'll get the plain form. So that's why sometimes the password capturing attacks also does happen using Wireshark, because some of the sites are not supporting HTTPS or the encrypted standards. Those send your details in the plain text form. So you simple packet capturing tools like Wireshark, you may hack the passwords of different people. So obviously, any of the standard site is not using this sort of practice. So don't try this on Facebook or etc. because it's not going to work. Those are SSL encrypted. So simply leave it. It is the just a thing that you can capture the packets, you can do some analysis, statistical uh, analysis sort of things. And now I'm going to close it. Okay. So here it is your window. So as we discussed in the Wireshark, that we can capture the packets. So once you capture the packets, there you can apply different filters also based on a specific command, that which specific protocols packet you want to capture. So there you will apply the packets like here. Okay, so I started YouTube just to get some traffic profiles here. So now, because of YouTube traffic, we are getting some packets here. So sort of things, you will simply click it, capture it, and here you will apply the filter. Here you can see it is written over here. Apply a display filter. So whatever filter you will apply here it is taking some time. Okay. So just I want to simply convey the message that here you will type the respective filters and then you will get respective output listed over down here. We'll see it later. Don't have time much. Many things we need to cover. Okay. Okay. In addition to this, we also saw the basic IP configuration last time. So sudo mn. So it is the host one's IP configuration, that is if config inside Ubuntu. So here we have this particular inet address, and then it is its MAC address, the broadcast network's broadcast address, mask, etc., etc., other things. Okay, it is the loopback. So similar way, you can open the options for other networks also. Why it is important? It is important to see the basic IP details, because when you want to create networks, when you want to communicate with each other, you get to know the what are the details of different hosts. Okay, so simply if you want to get more in-depth details, then simply press A option that stands for all. Means usually we get basic options, but if there are more interfaces, there are some VMs running on a specific host. As we know that inside H1 there is nothing running special, so that's why even after applying A option there is nothing new. So in case of other systems running other services also, or some more virtual interfaces, you will get listed them down here. Okay, then comes the options of there might be multiple processes running inside the network. So simply we can run on host H1. There are some processes like H1 if config, like we are running H1 PS, and these are the processes. PS stands for process here. So if you type here A, then there might be some control services. So those might be hidden from the normal user's view. So that's why if you apply a switch, you will get all the processes running over here. So you may also kill them if you want to kill. So we will not run any specific system process. We will try to run the bash, etc. 6186. Okay. Now you can see 6186 is not here. Okay. Bash got out. So similar way, come out of here and pinging the basic functionality. If you want to check the interconnection of two systems, then we can check the pinging. So I think we discussed in the last class also. Ping H1. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, it is H1 ping, not ping H1. So first you have to give the node's name, that is H1. So H1 ping, and which is the other host, that is H2. So it will ping the other host H2. Okay. So in this way, now it is capturing the pinging packets from H1 to H2. You open a second terminal and run here. See, Shreya, you only asked the question. So here it is displaying the options. It worked with simple Wireshark also. So here some Ethernet options, because we created the Mininet network. At that time, last time when we were discussing Wireshark, there were no S1 Ethernet or S1 Ethernet 2. There were no such options. Now this time we have additional interfaces in the form of S1 Ethernet, S1 Ethernet 2. It is S1 Ethernet 1, S1 Ethernet 2. And why these are two interfaces? Because there it is. These are the pinging messages. Continuous ping is going on. Here we opened the Wireshark and I have to stop this. Okay. I stopped it and we are inside Mininet. So now I stopped it and now you see the behavior profile of these two interfaces. Suddenly the traffic pattern got flat. Why it is so? Because now there is no traffic from H1 to H2. We transmitted 91 packets. We received a 91. Means I'll discuss this also. Okay. So over Mininet, we were transmitting from H1 to H2. What was the last command? H1 ping H2. Simply up arrow or down arrow will show you the different commands on any terminal. Okay. So over any Mininet terminal, we entered H1 ping H2, and that's why S1 was the intermediate node that was transferring packets from H1 to H2. So what was the topology? What is the topology here? It is the network that we created inside Mininet. So with respect to H1, we have a connection from H1 Ethernet 0 to S1's Ethernet 1. Okay. And we have, with respect to H2, we have H2 Ethernet 0 connection to S1's Ethernet 2. Means, what does it mean? It simple clearly states that S1 has two interfaces, Ethernet 1, Ethernet 2. And H1 has single interface, Ethernet 0, and H2 also has single interface, that is Ethernet 0. It might be confusing for some of the people that why they have the, and how can they have the same name for different interfaces. They can have, because those are two different machines, because they have their separate namespaces. Obviously, if you have studied the programming languages, you might be familiar with this thing. It's not a big deal. Okay. Then again, loopback address. So here, what I'm trying to say, that whatever your traffic profile is, it will get captured in its intact form by Wireshark, and it is quite obvious by seeing all these things. Because when we were running here, again we start something. This time we start S2. Okay. So again you can see there is a rise in the pattern. It is rising up, going down, because some acknowledgements or etc. coming. That is less in size. Again, it will go up, sort of thing. So continuously, initially, at the initial moment, some ARP happen. That's why some more packets are there, then continuous form of packet will go there, because there is a constant stream of packets. If you open more terminals and then you try, then there will be different traffic pattern. So similar way, I simply interrupt it. And now after interrupting it, let us also understand this thing. This is the 10.0.0.1 ping statistics. Okay. What was your H2? H2 ping H1. H1 means what? The first host. Okay. And its IP is what? H1 if H1 if config. तो H1 की IP क्या है? H1 की IP है 10.1 sorry 0.1. ठीक है. So यहाँ पर if we do the same thing with H2, we'll get to know its IP also. H2's IP is 0.2. So what we did in the last command, we did H2 ping H1, means dot 2 is trying to ping dot 1. Then okay, 10 packets. Sorry, 11. Okay. So 10.1 ping statistics came up here. 11 packets they transmitted. He transmitted, and then 11 received with no packet loss. So it is the PLR ratio. packet loss ratio, and it is the delay. And similar way, it is the RTT, round trip time, with the minimum, average, maximum, and the mean deviation. So these are the statistics in its computed form. You may do the same thing from Wireshark also, because there are also options of statistics. So similar things will be available there also. So in this way, you can understand that it looks simple, because initially it looks complex, that there are so many things to understand. Once you get familiar with the environment, then there comes the another problem, that there are so many protocols. You need to understand them also. Then once you understand the protocols, again you need to understand their internal parameters. Then you understand those parameters. Then you try to understand the relation of one protocol's parameter with the relation to another protocol's parameter. How does the particular parameter of one protocol impacts or affects the another parameter of another protocol? So this sort of analysis we need to do. If we have that clear theoretical understanding, then we capture the packets, go inside the packets, see the parameter details of different protocols, and then we conclude, or any database, network administrator concludes that this particular attack is happening right now on this particular application, or this sort of extra traffic is coming from this particular site, or this particular IP is trying to launch more traffic. That's why he will simply deny your permission. So many times you do find that when you, as most of you might be familiar with the proxy sites, okay, so definitely you might be trying in the campus while you are here, trying to access some of the sites, those are not allowed, obviously the movie sites, etc. So at the movie sites also, those are allowed ones also. Those also you will see the Cloudflare application. It will try to prevent the possible malicious attacks from the dynamic remote locations. Dynamic means the number of users may go up, down with time, and with speed also means speed may also be random, because at sometimes you are trying to access with a very high speed. You have opened 4 5 movie options, and one person has not opened anything, and one person has two options, and a person has opened 10 tabs, like this. So depending on your processor or your system's capacity, you are trying to get the maximum of that particular site. So time, speed, etc., these things will vary user to user, so it will create a dynamic environment. And when you will site will experience the dynamic traffic and high volume of dynamic traffic from a particular source, then it may conclude, okay, it is normal. But if it is coming with a constant speed and with lots of load, constant speed, low load, okay, but constant speed and lots of load, it will conclude it's a bot. So they will simply deny your permission. Then you'll get blocked, or some sort of deny permission will occur, either from local administrator or the global administrator. So global administrator will be the site's administrator. So in this way, these protocol parameters will create an influence, because randomly they will write some script. It is not necessary that always the network administrator is sitting over the chair and he's constantly looking at the different flows, because there are millions of systems inside under the domain, and obviously there might be some foreign domains traffic also. Like we have one utility that is Iperf. Okay, let me show you that also. We have Iperf. Okay, so inside Mininet environment, first thing that as I told you, here, here it will not give any information. Why? Because it is the single network, single system, and it is not right now. It is not connected with any active system in its network. So here With respect to the active systems, we have to create a active network. Here it is an active network of Mininet, and here we are trying to run the TCP bandwidth between H1 and H2 because they are two hosts. So now these are the results. So these results from H1 to H2 and H2 to H1 are displayed here. And with respect to these results, you may decide that which specific application you should run onto your network. If your bandwidth is really poor, then you should understand that there is some traffic going on. Then obviously you should not run some heavy applications. So depending on the performance of your bandwidth or your node characteristics, you should decide which specific application you should run onto your network, and that particular application will either improve or degrade your performance again. Because suppose you are already in its a degraded form, your network is running high under heavy load, then again you run some heavy applications, then it may again create a problem. Means in operating system you must have heard of a concept of thrashing. So inside the similar sort of event it will get happen. It will go down, and you may think, if you are a simply naive user, then user may think that its a processor performances go low. He will again going low. He will again launch a heavy application. Again, it will go low. So it will create a catastrophic event. So simply, again, let me close it. If you have any questions till now, please either put in chat window or raise your hand, whichever way you are suitable. In protocol display, what is the meaning of color? That is up to you. Actually, when you will get familiar, Jyoti, when you will get familiar with the different sort of options inside Wireshark, you may assign different colors to different protocols. Some protocol functions at application level, some protocol functions at network layer, some protocol do function at data link layer. So with respect to the specific behavior, for example, you might have used the Excel sheet, and Excel is a very wonderful tool. Means it looks so simple, but it has amazing options. For example, I will discuss with you people a basic discussion of an IAM person. Most of the IAM fellow, whichever means they are managers, obviously. So their work is to manage the assets, either the liabilities, assets, people, depending on their specialization, either HR, finance, etc. So they need to be really good in managing skills. Now, when it comes to management, Excel is a handy tool, obviously. So the Excel management, its expertise is the thing that they try to achieve. Now, when I discussed with one of my contact, not friend, sort of thing, so then he said that we try really hard to get the Excel expertise. Then I asked them that what is so special about Excel. So they said that it is not about the thing that every person uses Excel. We use Excel in its extreme potential, with its extreme potential, because Excel provides you so many options, so vast options, that if you configure it properly, because you assign color, and it is not just giving colors and etc. Because when you have numerous options, because like in computer, we have numerous protocols. If there are thousands of protocols, you cannot remember every protocol by its name. And it is also a very complex problem in computer science, that you need to remember the acronyms. For example, in most of the Viva sessions, you might have experienced it, that the professor sitting in front of you is asking that what is the full form of DHCP, and at the same time you forgot, right, it was a dynamic host configuration, or it was a dynamic host configure, or something like that. So point is that there are so many acronyms you need to mm, mug up, sort of things, कि बस रट्टा मार लो एक तरह से. You need to mug up all the details, that this is the acronym of this is the acronym of this is the acronym of this. So this sort of thing when happen, it creates a problem. So what is the better solution? The better solution is just to give a specific color, because in practical environment, your mugging up skills are not the focus. Your actual management is the focus. That's why many times the people who score more in the environment, in the exams, do fail in the real practical environments. Why? Because their working pattern is the mugging up or something like that. I'm not saying that everyone does that, but it is a point is that normally what we do to score marks doesn't work in practical environments. So there you need to be creative sort of thing, that how you will assign the different colors, how you will have a combination, how will you assign the relations. You will need to configure the equations from one specific cell of a excel sheet to the another cell of the another excel sheet or the same excel sheet. So once you update a value in one cell of the excel sheet, automatically hundreds of values will get updated according to the function interrelation. So like you want to buy a house, then what is your initial capital investment, then what is the rate of interest, then per year what is the increase in rate of interest, and then again what are the other liabilities, what are the other things that will impact your investment, sort of things. So if there is a finance person who is trying to manage the loans, etc., etc., then there is a need to put the complex there is a need to make this complex environment a very flexible one, because there are not single details, there are hundred of details of thousands of customers from a variety of environment. Like consider a application, there is a CA and he is trying to manage the sort of ITR details of all the people in a company. Now in company there are thousands of workers or employees. Let's assume the company hires a 10 CA. Okay, so every CA has the responsibility of at least 3 to 400, minimum 3 to 400 people to manage their ITR details. Now, inside ITR, the fund details, the security details, the LIC details, the etc. details, if you might have filled up, there are numerous details. So all these details you need to put up. Now, every time CA will not take the paper of someone and will try to understand everything. What he will do, he will create an Excel sheet, he will simply put it, and automatically the whatever the final outcome will be there, that will get summed up, and finally there will be a sum that is supposed to be deducted from your account will come up. The same way the ITR site also works. You simply put the details, it will automatically calculate the things and will give you the details, because the sole purpose of computing is to hide the complexities, to give a better abstraction so that the end user doesn't feel the difficulty in understanding the complex environment. So in the same way, it's a basic practice to put the colors with respect to different protocols. Nothing is special. If you want to change it, you can do it. Okay. Second thing, Wireshark is opening up. Okay, it is done already. Thanks, Jyoti. So it's already 12 o'clock. Okay. We left with some of the commands. Okay, no issue. Most of the things I covered with, and I think these commands and etc. what are left, those are not that much big deal, because those are simple one. Exit commands, some sort of testing with respect to Iperf I told you, so you can simply test it. Also with respect to ping all, also with respect to ping pair, also those are two different commands. Then pinging with respect to a specific packet count, and you may choose the verbosity of output. Verbosity means detailing something in its detailed form. Okay, means explaining something in its detailed form. Similar words I'm using here, confusing sort of. So if you type sudo mn hyphen v uv wala v velvet, so then you will get the detailed output. So sort of things, I think you might have gone through the walkthrough that I recommended you people, and if you have gone through, then you might be understanding what I'm talking to. Everything is there, so there is no need to get panic. If you have any problem, again go through the walkthrough, leave a mail or message to me or Shiv, or is there any problem, and we'll try to figure out everything. Okay. Similar way, Jyoti, I'll have noted down your question. Jyoti is the name, no? Yes. So I will get to you the answer what you asked specifically. Let me take the screenshot of this attendance. Hope all of you are present here. So wait 2 minutes. Don't leave the session. सुप्रीम तुमने लिया है क्या स्क्रीनशॉट? Yes, one last class I left class before time to go to before time to go to next class. Okay, Shiva, no issue. I'll consider that attendance, but don't do it. Okay. Before leaving, please intimate at least. Okay, guys, we'll discuss some controller part information because till now we have discussed. If you have some next class, please move out. Okay, and those are free. Please stay for 2 minutes. So in the next class, we are going to discuss the controller issues. Right now, we just understand the basic Mininet environment, what we can do, how we can capture packets, etc. Things we discussed. Now the thing is that we are discussing there is a controller, or what exactly that controller, what can be the different types, what exactly does it perform in a specific environment, and what are the benefits of using different controllers, that we will discuss in the next class. So hope it is good for today. If you have any feedback, just simply message me, and for any possible improvements, if you do find, please let me know. Okay. Okay, thank you so much.